Greetings fellow gamers, GPD here with another video. Today we are back on Expedition 33 doing a new build that is going to make the game much easier and much more relaxing for you while playing at the highest difficulty. While I was doing my previous builds, I was never quite satisfied with the damage they dealt. To be more precise, I was annoyed by the fact that neither of them could kill Simon in one turn. Well, that has changed quite drastically. Before we get any further, I just want to take the opportunity and thank you all for tuning into the channel. While making these videos does require quite a lot of time, your likes, views and comments make it worth every second. Keep supporting the channel, keep subscribing so we can reach my first milestone of 1000 subscribers and make more simple but overpowered guides for other games as well. Let's get back to the build. Unlike the previous two builds, this one is a group effort and therefore is a bit more complex. With this guide I will show you how we can deal over 600 million damage in 7 to 8 simple steps, using Lune, Verso and Maelle to erase everything in the game and possibly melt your hard drive in the process. I have put this build through every high tier encounter in the game on expert difficulty and it passed it with flying colors, melting every single encounter in one turn and even dishing out enough damage to one-shot Simon 4 times over. Once you complete it, you'll be fully equipped to dominate everything the game throws at you, and if a new DLC or extra content drops, you'll be more than ready to crush that as well. To put it simply, it is a nuclear bomb in every single way. Since it is a group effort, I will go over every character and explain their role in it. I know these builds tend to be complex, but trust me, this one is very simple, because if it required anything more than 12 functioning brain cells, I wouldn't be able to pull it off. I will not explain away all the lumina that we will be using like I've done before, mostly because I've been told that it's extremely annoying, but also because it would take away too much time and overcomplicate the video. But I will however link the details to every picto in the description of the video. Without further ado, let's get into the details. Since this is a gradient focused build, we will need to charge up the gradient bar all the way to level 3 in our first and only turn, and the first one to pack a punch is Lune. We don't need anything much from her, just some nice hits, a few burns and some suicidal assistance. Lune's weapon of choice for this build is ideally going to be the Bracelin, for its perk to generate 5% of a gradient charge every time it lands a critical hit. But if you don't have it, don't go googling it around and hunting for it, since any weapon is going to do the job just fine. Her main job anyway is to get us to that first gradient charge and to fill up the enemy's break bar so that Verso can continue from there. Whatever weapon you choose, don't forget to reset your attributes to the highest scaling ones just to make things smoother. When it comes to pictos, we are going to be using the ones with the highest point costs for no other reason than to save up some much needed lumina points, because we will be needing a total of 601 points across all 3 characters to activate all the lumina perks that we need for this build. On Lune, I decided to go with Cheetah, Energizing Start 4 and Survivor, which will save us up a total of 80 points. As for Lumina, we will be needing a total of 131 points for Lune. Like I've said before, I'm not going to annoy you by going over everything that you will be using on each character. Instead, you can pause the video here or take a screenshot to copy everything. In any case, I will put up a list of luminas used for each character in the description below the video. However, I do want to underscore the importance of having Breaking Death on Lune, since that will enable Verso to break and stun the targets. Another important thing to mention is that charging Alteration, Burn and Critical are a must, since those will enable you to fill the gradient bar much faster. Unlike Lune, Verso is a bit more complex to put together, since his role in this build is a bit bigger than hers, and he will be in charge of breaking the target and filling your gradient bar all the way, or at least close to it. Bear in mind that everything I'm showing you in this guide is the minimum required to OTK everything in the game, and while the final damage output can get much bigger, my focus is on putting all of this together as early in the game as possible, and not when you have completed everything. There is no specific weapon that we need to rely on for Verso to enable this build. Whatever you choose is going to have the same impact on the end result. Just make sure you are not using the Chevalim, as it will, and I can't believe that I'm saying this, prevent you from killing yourself once you are finished with Verso. Everything else is completely fine. I personally chose to go with Contorso, as it helps to fill that gradient bar much faster and makes the build more resilient to bad RNG. Unlike Lune, Verso is going to need quite a bit more Lumina points to activate everything that we need on him. 202 points is what we need to equip him with every essential Lumina. It goes without saying that, like with Lune, the more perks you activate, the higher the final damage is going to be. Just make sure to not have any shields on him, as that as well will prevent you from committing suicide at the end of his turn. Like before, you can pause the video here to see the correct Lumina loadout for Verso. Unlike Lune and Verso, with Maelle, we have to be very precise when it comes to weapon choice. The Mellerum is the weapon we will be using for this build, as it's the highest scaling weapon in the game, and it comes with the benefit of switching us into virtual stance once we fall below 50% HP. Quick disclaimer here, this perk isn't necessary by any means, but it does come in handy in some rare situations when we mess up our rotation. Needless to say that the skills we will be choosing are Vitality, Luck and Might to reach that 11,000 plus power cap. With Maelle, we will prioritize speed with our pictos while having the point cost in mind, as we will need a ton of Lumina for her. The reason for that is because once we reach 3000 speed, it will enable one additional consecutive turn in some high tier encounters, which is crucial for us to be able to clear everything without us being interrupted. It is only a select few specific encounters, but if you have enough Lumina points, it's better to go full speed on her anyway. 268 is the magic number that we will be needing for Maelle. As she is the muscle behind the build, we will mostly focus on damage amplifying Lumina. Needless to say that if you have some spare points, you can equip as much Lumina as you want, since it is going to make the build stronger and more resilient to mistakes. For everything else, feel free to stop the video right now and take a good look at what Lumina we will be using. Bear in mind that roulette is not necessary for boss fights, as it will one-shot any boss, including Simon, even if it goes the other way. But you will, however, need it on certain group encounters to be able to finish them off in one go. The execution of this build is very simple. In only 7 steps, or 8 if you are in a multi-target fight, you will have killed off everything on the screen. Before we do anything, we have to make sure that we have the correct attack order and that everyone is at full HP. Lune has to be the first one to go, followed by Verso, followed by Maelle for the killing blow. Once we start the fight, the first step is to use Hell with Lune, applying burn to all enemies and making it easier for Verso to break them afterwards. The second step is to commit suicide. Use a healing tint on Lune, which will kill her thanks to the inverted affinity Lumina. That will in turn fill the enemy's break bar, and thanks to the death bomb Lumina additionally fill your gradient bar. The third step is to use Phantom Stars with Verso, which will remove any potential shields, break all enemies, stun them and add a double mark to them. Step 4 is to off yourself by using a healing tint. By this time you should have all 3 gradient charges. Step 5 is to use Power Down with Maelle, thereby applying greater defenseless on the targets and increasing your damage further. Step 6 is to use Last Chance, which will add more shields to you and put you in virtuous stance. For the 7th and final step, use Gommage. If you are in a boss fight, this will absolutely dismantle everything in front of you. However, if you are facing multiple enemies, you'll have to change up the 7th step a little bit and possibly add an additional 8th one. Instead of Gommage, we will be using Phantom Strike, which will kill off at least 2 enemies if roulette procs on some hits, preferably on the first 2, since that's when the targets will be marked. As the 8th and final step, we will be using Last Chance again and then follow up with a Gommage or another Phantom Strike on whatever is left. Also make sure that you shoot down those annoying dodgy things that just refuse to die by anything else with whatever AP you have left with Lune and Verso before you kill them. Everything else is going to die after Phantom Strike. While I was testing this build, I went to extreme lengths to make sure that it does OTK every single encounter in the game and that it maintains a certain level of simplicity so that everyone can complete and use it without feeling overwhelmed. The biggest challenge is acquiring enough color of Lumina required to activate everything we need. But even that can be overcome with a minimum amount of farming. While they are more degenerate builds that deal up to 4 billion damage and even more in some cases, I didn't like how they felt. All the back and forth with the characters and all the turn skipping felt a bit over the top for me, and honestly, it bored me to an extent. That's why I wanted to make sure that this build is as simple as it can be, while at the same time being able to deliver on any task. I hope you enjoy it, and I encourage you to build upon it, make it even stronger, and maybe even simpler. Whatever I do here with my guides, I always hope that it will lead you to one-up me and share whatever you find so that we all can enjoy the games that we love even more. That's it for this one, guys. If you liked the video and if you want more content like this, support the channel by liking and sharing my videos. And while you're at it, smash that subscribe button. Thanks again and see you in the next one.